Yo, what is good? My anime people, what is good, yo? Guys, you know I am smiling ear to ear when I see my boy Gigamesh show back up on the screen. I apologize for saying what I said in the last episode, or last preview, just simply on the case of I thought my boy was maybe dead, but come to find out, he pulled some very sneaky stuff and winds up in the underworld, capable of helping our team, which without him, the show would have ended, and he's not a type of person to let the show end on a bad note, if you will. So I honestly, I'm so happy this man shows back up and just shows what he's capable of, period. Not only is he one of my favorite characters to kind of watch on screen, they did so much justice to just this moment of him going off, man. So with him, from Fate Zero, that's the vibes I really got. But it was also really the version of him that was fighting with Kingaru, and just seeing their overall like it's almost like he was created into a version that could use those swords and maybe even chains, but we didn't see any chains. So the cool thing about all this is he also goes as a whole different like version of himself. He goes by uh he says he's just a servant, and on top of that, being a servant, he calls himself an archer, not the other one was like a mage, right? Like a caster or something like that. So it just kind of goes to show you that this show also has some interesting ways of putting out different just ideas of what we see the characters as, which is cool to me, because not only do we get to see this side of him, we get to just see how ridiculously broken um, the mother of creation truly is. All these people adding to try to destroy and really not getting anywhere at the end of the day was pretty telling of the strength of the mother of creation. Not only that, even with his help, they still had to come up with like another full-blown plan to get the kid, get our main character in close to pretty much stab the forehead and allow Gigamesh to just completely obliterate her afterwards. So it's these types of things that still keep me relatively happy that they just didn't waste the character Gigamesh and didn't show off as much as I wanted them to. Sure, he did something cool last week, but this week was even sicker, man. Like, I love me some good action, and that's what this was. I got to see one of my favorite characters in action that I haven't seen since Fate Zero, and I think this was probably one of his best showcasings ever. Just like how some people were saying it's one of his strongest showcases ever that they've seen in multiple shows that he makes appearances in. So really happy I got to catch a glimpse of it, what it could be like, what uh, if he actually was not holding back and can just let loose, and even that wasn't capable of just absolutely stomping out this person that he's going against, was actually kind of blows my mind. So now it's time to take Ryder out the canon way with my ultimate. I mean, even down to the details, they show the same thing I'm about to show in this game. His noble plasm, noble, yeah, plasm. I I honestly was pretty shocked on how much detail they put into this, but it's clear that he's a fan favorite, and Fate knows it more than anybody. That's why they bring him back here, make him do what he does. But I think another person who I really wasn't expecting to be one of the dopest characters in here, at least design wise, and him how he fought. Our boy. Oops, I didn't mean to do that attack. That is the attack that did kill our mans, but um, the guy who was already in the underworld that turned into the Skull Knight of Revenge or something. So there was just a whole lot to take in this episode, and I'm actually pretty sad that the underworld lady ends up the way that she did this week. She really did try her hardest, and to know that it ended up like that, it definitely sucks, man. I wanted her to have a good afterlife, but it just wasn't in the cards for her. So I guess we'll see how this plays out. It looks like the battle should be actually over now. So if it's not, people are screwed. like, like it's about to be a bad time for people if this battle still has, any type of ridiculousness to come at the end of the day. So I definitely want to know what you guys are feeling on this week's episode. Did you love yourself some Gigamesh? Did you find yourself rooting for any other characters that you like more than the others? Like what was it that, had you happy about this week's episode? Um, Another show is about to come to an end relatively soon, so it's kind of crazy that a lot of shows we have been watching have had such great like beginning, middles, and now we gotta just see how good the ends are. Because at this point, I did enjoy this show a lot, and I just hope that the ending is satisfying, or above else, they're going to give us some reason as to where everything's going in the future. In the case of our character who clearly has an enemy that's supposedly more dangerous or just more evil than the mother of creation. Um, we don't know if Gigamesh will ever show back up now that he, is going to be ruling his own place, seeing how everything worked out relatively good. I think that's just the last thing we got to see is where everything gets restored. How does it restore? What in history stays the same? What in history changes? Stuff like that, and we'll just have to overall guess at the end of the day who is really going to be around, or we'll have to see another season or something to see if any of these characters wind up meeting our character again. But from what I've seen in the Lord of whatchamacallit that came out not long ago, after a servant has like disappeared and then reappeared again, they lose all their memories of their current or their last user, like their last people that was with them. So if that is the case and these guys are servants, they might never remember him until, maybe he has some way of refreshing their memories and stuff like that, but I even doubt that. So we'll see how this all turns out. It's getting relatively close to that end point, and I say that now, but I think I said that 1 week before, or like I said it before, and it just wasn't the case, man. There was just too much stuff they wanted to show us still, and here we are still watching a ridiculous amount of things popping off. So hope you guys are all having an amazing day, night, evening, whatever the case may be. I am your boy, the Anime G, and I will definitely talk to you sooner than later. So with that being said, take care and peace.